Good morning and welcome to another edition of the Daily Fix. I am your usual host and presenter, Advocate Tulohoyani. This morning I'm taking a look at Paul O'Sullivan, the forensic investigator who has fled South Africa and is holed up somewhere in London where he is spitting fire. O'Sullivan is a very controversial character in South Africa and was due to appear shortly before Parliament's ad hoc committee. But all indications are O'Sullivan will not be turning up before Parliament's ad hoc committee, especially in view of the outbursts that he has been making in the media recently. Now, let us just recap and say to ourselves, who is Paul O'Sullivan? Paul O'Sullivan is a forensic investigator, a private forensic investigator who has controversially been involved in the affairs of the South African police services, in a manner that just leaves one wondering how a civilian could have gained so much control of a government institution. Paul O'Sullivan is reported to have been in control of IPID for quite some time. The Independent Police Investigating Directorate, in spite of the fact that he is a civilian and has got nothing to do with the South African police services. As he was doing so, it would appear that Paul O'Sullivan is also reported to have a criminal record, apparently over a domestic violence issue. But interestingly enough, that criminal record is not recorded anywhere. It is not on the National Register of Offenders. And as I speak this morning, there is no record of that criminal offense that O'Sullivan has hanging over his head. Somehow it just got obliterated. So this is the kind of person that O'Sullivan is. A lot of influence from a civilian in the South African police services who also, interestingly, has that criminal record. Now, O'Sullivan, in the recent past, has been making the headlines for all the wrong reasons, especially in the aftermath of those damning disclosures made by General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, the KZN police commissioner. Immediately after that June 5th press conference, O'Sullivan went on the offensive and called Mkhwanazi a criminal. He claimed that Mkhwanazi and the National Commissioner, Masemola, had gone on an overseas trip with a police supplier, somebody who supplies some kind of goods to the South African police service, which thing in itself, if we are to believe O'Sullivan, and all indications are that might well be false, would be a conflict of interest on the part of Mkhwanazi and Masemola. So Sullivan said that they had been on this overseas trip with this supplier to the police and had been gifted with Louis Vuitton bags, Louis Vuitton ladies' handbags, which they then apparently, according to O'Sullivan, ended up giving to their wives. So this is a man who, has got his nose almost in everything and will not hesitate to say whatever he wants to say on any forum. So the latest outburst, just before he was due to appear before Parliament's ad hoc committee, is that he called the South African Parliament a bunch of criminals, and also specifically referred to the ad hoc committee as being made out of criminals. He also set up or made, preconditions. He came up with preconditions for his appearance there, even if he was to appear virtually, because he's insisting that he's not going to appear in person, he's going to appear virtually. He said that even if he appears virtually, he will not take any questions from the MKP, from the EFF, and Action SA. So this is a man who walks about with some swagger and some kind of sense of entitlement. Whoever goes to the ad hoc committee and arrogantly tells the ad hoc committee, or prior to his attendance of the ad hoc committee proceedings, hands out a list of preconditions about who and who cannot question him. So this is a man that has very little respect for the South African public. He simply treats South Africa like a banana republic. This is why I've always doubted, I've always doubted and people with, their sincerity and commitment to this country, people with a multiplicity of citizenships. O'Sullivan is also reported to be a citizen of the United Kingdom, where he is currently holed up. So all indications are that O'Sullivan, given his latest outburst, will not be appearing before Parliament's ad hoc committee. So that all the allegations that he has made against specifically General Santam Kwanazi and other people, will forever remain that. Empty allegations, outbursts of a man perhaps who was, pursuing an agenda that has failed. On the other hand, all the allegations that have been leveled against him will simply stand, because here is O'Sullivan turning down that opportunity to come clean before the ad hoc committee. But all indications are the man has no intention of doing so. So it is a rather unfortunate development, but that is what it is. Having said that, let me thank you for watching this video. Let me thank you for all the views, subscriptions, likes, and shares that I'm seeing. And have a wonderful and blessed day. Thank you very much.